Today's video is about creating a big plan in PowerPoint, which apparently seems to be mission impossible. But if you want to see how mission impossible becomes a superb reality by creating adaptive transition effect with real-time decision change in PowerPoint, then you don't want to miss this first episode of our brand new series called PowerPoint Wheel Reinvented. One of the main purposes of a plan is to allow the companies to adapt to their very dynamic environment in which they function. But in the absence of a plan to cope with those changes, then ouch! That really hurt, you know? So that's why, as you can see, it's really a bad idea not having a plan. Alright, so what about a B plan in PowerPoint? Well, let's imagine that during the next days you have to be at a very important conference to present your hard work. Or these days you are a student that is presenting a diploma project. So in both of the cases you had to submit your presentation a couple of days ago, right? And now you cannot do any more changes to that presentation and you're gonna present it like it is right now. And let's suppose that after the first presentations you realize that the commission is not too thrilled about fancy animations and transitions, and you think that your presentation is full of these kind of things, and now you're thinking, oh no, I've ruined my chances to grab a good mark in my pocket.
No!
But wait a second, what if you already had a B plan and you have prepared adaptive transition effect, and now accordingly to the environment you're going to use just the light and subtle ones to cope with the environment, and voila, you're back in the race for banging a good mark in your pocket. Whoa, sounds cool, right? So how we can create this adaptive transition effect in PowerPoint? Are you curious? Then come on, let's see it together in PowerPoint. So let's suppose we want to present the main transportation modes. For that we have 5 different slides with 5 different pictures corresponding to each one of the transportation modes, and of course our main slide. So the classical approach would be to go to each one of these 5 different slides and apply the desired transition effect. So for example, let's go for the transportation mode and let's apply, of course, the curtains effect. Alright, now for the rail transportation, let's apply the wind effect. Alright, for the sea transportation, let's apply the origami effect. Okay, while for the air transportation, of course, we're going to apply the plane effect. And for the pipelines, let's see, let's put the vortex. That's okay. Now with this classical approach, we've got 2 main problems. One, even if the transition is applied to reveal a certain slide, the design of the transition is given by the previous slide. For example, the curtain effect for the truck is generated by the main slide, and we really don't want that. And the second problem is that if you don't want to present the slides in the normal order and you want to present a specific slide from the pack, then you will go there and you will start the presentation, and unfortunately the transition is always going to be black. So we really need to fix these problems. The majority of the videos dedicated to this subject will come with a solution just for the first problem, but unfortunately the second problem will remain untreated. They will tell you to insert a new slide and to put the appropriate design right there. Okay, so let's insert a new slide here, and then let's insert a new picture, stock image, and let's find the curtain. Okay, I think this is very good. Let's insert it. Okay, now let's crop it to 16:9, because with this we will be able to cover the entire slide. Okay, and apparently problem done. And this is more or less all what you're going to get from the others for the transition effect. I'm saying that this is apparently resolving the problem, because in reality you have to start with this new slide in order to benefit from the transition design. But what if you don't want to start from there? And what if you want to start from the main slide? If you go to the main slide, then you'll have to click, and then the curtain will appear. And then you will have to put a second click for the transition. Of course, this is not looking professional at all. So firstly, let's resolve this problem. Let's go to the previous slide of our transition and let's change the settings. From the advanced slide, let's uncheck the click, and then let's check after, and then let's put the shortest possible duration, which means 0.01 seconds. Now let's take a look to see the difference. It's way more professional like this. But now we have solved just the first problem. The second problem is still there. What if you want to present a different slide than the next one? Well, now it's time to reinvent the wheel. So let's create the B plan, or even the C plan, or the D plan, like in Formula One, because I'm gonna show you now an example with 4 different plans. So let's create the adaptive transition effect with real-time decision change. That will also be the solution for the problem number 2. First, let's go and create a so-called ghost shape. And I warmly recommend you to watch this movie of mine, because here you will have even more explanations about this subject. So I'm gonna show you 2 examples, one for the road transportation and the other for the air transportation. First, let's create the ghost shape. For the moment, I will keep the outline to show you the things, but logically then I'm gonna eliminate it. So let's create a shape with the dimensions of 1.2 width and 0.8 height. Normally, as I said, I would have eliminated the outline, and also I would have put the no fill, but for the moment I will just let it with no fill. The outline will still be present. Now, an example of how not to arrange the forms, the shapes. Practically, if you will put them one after the another, then it's gonna be a high probability to mess up the things, because as you can see, there is such a small space between each shape. So practically in the full presentation mode and without the outlines, there is a big probability, as I said, to click the wrong shape that is going to trigger the wrong transition. So now let me show you the right way of how to arrange the ghost shapes. So there is going to be an arrangement like a checkered flag. So in this case, analyzing the top left shape, as you can see, there is a lot of space up and down. And now analyzing the right top shape, as you can see, again, there is a lot of space up and down. And in this way, it's going to be way easier, and the chances to screw it up are going to be way smaller. So practically, if we're gonna click this, we're gonna know for sure that we're gonna trigger the first animation, while if we're gonna click this shape, then we're going to be very sure that we're going to trigger the third animation. That's being resolved. Let's multiply our slide and let's create 4 identical slides. If you're satisfied with our main slide being the design for your transition, it's okay. If you're not, then you can add additional slides in between. And in my example, I created these 2 slides that will be very good for the airplane and the origami transitions. So we'll have three plans or three alternatives where we're going to have different designs, and the fourth is going to use as a transition our main slide. Now let's set up the connections, and then we'll be able to see everything in full presentation mode. As I said earlier, I'm going to show for you two examples, one for the road transportation and the other for the air transportation. And if you want to master all the connections between the slides, then I really recommend you to see this video called Restaurant Smart Objectives Revealed in PowerPoint by using 3D pushable buttons, because here I've created a special technique that will allow you to save a lot of time. Before passing to the full presentation mode, you should always make sure that you have a second goal shape in the destination slide, with which you will be able to go back to the main slide, from where you can pick up another subject and decide in real time another transition effect based on the perception of your audience, based on the perception in real time. Now it's time to go in the full presentation mode, and let's analyze the things. So if we're gonna click on the first go shape, then we're gonna trigger the curtain effect. That's very nice. Let's go back now. Clicking on the second go shape, we're gonna trigger the origami effect. Very nice. Let's go back. If we want a simple transition, let's click on the third go shape, with which we're gonna trigger the simple transition. Nice. Let's go back. And now finally, let's click on the fourth go shape with which we're gonna trigger the airplane transition. Very, very nice. Let's go back. Now the same thing is now valid for the air transportation mode, but this time let me first erase the outlines of the go shapes and have everything in blank like in a real-time live presentation, meaning fully go shapes, nothing visible. The audience will not know that there are hidden boxes, hidden shapes. Alright, let's go to the full presentation mode. Again, clicking the first go shape, we're gonna trigger the curtain transition. Very nice. Let's go back. Clicking on the second go shape, we're gonna trigger the origami effect. Very nice indeed. Clicking on the third shape, we're gonna trigger a simple transition. Let's go back, and clicking on the fourth go shape, we're gonna trigger the airplane transition. Very nice. All the problems have been resolved, and we have a plan A, B, C, and D. By using adaptive transition effects in PowerPoint, you will never be caught unprepared by different unexpected things from your presentation environment. And talking about unexpected and unpleasant things from the presentation environment, I really recommend you this video, 7 presentation techniques with which you can win any presentation competition, because at the end I've also included a bonus with a plan B alternative. My friends, I really hope that I've convinced you that it's always a good idea to have a B plan, and I also hope that my channel videos are part of your viewing plans. And if you also plan to give a big like to my video, I will appreciate even more. My friend, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode. À bientôt, mes amis.